The Scream franchise is very well known for its opening scenes, so I figured with the release of Scream 6, it would be a perfect time for me to rank all 6 of the Scream opening scenes from the worst to the best. And this should go without saying, but I'm going to keep saying it in every video. This is just my opinion. It is not fact. Not everyone's going to have the same ranking, and that is okay. Drop yours in a comment below. I would love to see it. And I like most of these opening scenes. Oh, hold on. Obviously, spoilers for all 6 Scream movies. That should go without saying as well, but I'm going to say it anyway. I like all 6 of these opening scenes. There are none of them that I dislike. I think that some are more memorable than others for varying reasons. So, that being said, number 6 is actually going to be Scream 4. Now, this one has gone down quite a bit for me on rewatches. This is one that I remember after seeing it for the first time thinking, oh, that was pretty clever how they did that. Now watching it again, I actually think that the execution wasn't nearly as clever as it was on paper, mainly because I think that the characters and performances get worse as the scenes go along. Like the opening scene with the 2 girls, I thought they were by far and away the most interesting of the character of the 6 girls in this opening scene. Then we get the next 2 played by the most well-known actors, and Anna Paquin and Kristen Bell. They were quite a bit less enjoyable. And then we get the real opening scene with the 2 girls that are actually in the movie, and they were by far and away my least favorite characters and performances in these opening scenes, and I just didn't care about them at all. So that made this opening scene lose a lot for me when watching it again, once you get over the initial cleverness of it, because you don't care about these characters at all. So it's a decent opening scene. I like the idea. I just wish the execution was better. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Scream 2. I know this is an opening scene that a lot of people really like. I've never been super high on it. I think it is okay. It is a decent opening scene. What I do like about it is the performances by Jada Pinkett Smith and Omar Epps. I love their conversations. And I also really like the idea that they would make a movie out of the tragedy that happened in the first Scream movie and make money off it, and all these idiots would be in the theater acting the way that they are. I thought that was a brilliant commentary on totally seems like something that people would do if a tragedy like this occurred in real life. What I didn't really like about this scene is that Jada Pinkett Smith's character kind of annoyed me at times. And I thought that even though her performance was quite good for the most part, I thought in her actual dying moments was a bit melodramatic, and the way people acted when this was happening was very strange. Like they didn't do anything, took them a long time to realize what was even going on. And the way that Phil dies, to where the character happens to know exactly where his ear is up against the door, makes absolutely no sense. I mean, there are quite a few plot holes in this franchise. The franchise I love, there are quite a few plot holes. This is one that bugs me probably more than any of the other ones, because there is no possible way they could know exactly where his ear was. That makes absolutely no sense. And it just doesn't build tension as well as some of the other ones on this list. So it's a decent opening scene, but one of the more forgettable ones to me. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Scream 3. This is a movie that I'm not really a fan of. It's the only Scream movie that I would give a negative review to, and by far and away my least favorite in the franchise. But I do actually think this is a decent opening scene. I really like the utilization of the new voice changer in this one, even though I am harshly critical of the voice changer, the logistics of it. Like that doesn't make a lick of sense. The way they use it in this scene I thought was pretty clever, to where Cotton gets the call and he thinks it's a fan, and then slowly revealed that it's Ghostface who's in his house and stalking his girlfriend Christine. And then the way that Ghostface uses the voice changer to manipulate Christine and trick her into thinking that Cotton is the actual killer, because she never actually sees Cotton come in and doesn't know that the real Ghostface and Cotton are different entities. I loved that part of it. And then the fact that she doesn't trust Cotton leads to both of their deaths. I thought that was really good. And killing off a returning character was really ballsy as well. Doesn't hit quite the highs that my top 3 on this list do, but I think for a movie that I'm not really a big fan of, this is a pretty good opening scene. Number 3 is going to be Scream 2022, or Scream 5, or 5 Cream, whatever you want to call it. I just like to call it Scream 5 because that's easiest. This scene is definitely derivative of the first movie with Casey, for sure. But that is about the only knock I have against it, and that was intentional. I love a lot of things about this scene. First of all, Jenna Ortega's performance is phenomenal, and this is the first time I ever saw her in anything, and I was like, this girl's going to be big. And here we are, a little over a year later, and she just absolutely blew up. She is excellent in this scene at depicting her fear and how this thing gets out of control and just totally stressed out this character is. Very great job in that regard. I love the use of technology to where she's like looking up the answer to the quiz on her phone and locking and unlocking the doors with the phone, and the video of Amber and stuff, which was meant to trick her and the audience into thinking that Amber wasn't the killer. I liked how the conversation started really casual to where we couldn't even exactly tell it was Roger Jackson at first. He sounded quite a bit different. Then it slowly gets into like the actual Ghostface voice. I like the commentary on elevated horror and stuff. So aside from the fact that this scene is very derivative of the first one, which again was intentional and kind of what we needed at this time, I really, really like this opening scene. Coming in at number 2 is going to be Scream 6. This is possibly the most unique opening scene in the entire franchise. I absolutely love what they did with this one. First of all, Samara Weaving is just awesome and gives such a great performance, a character that she got you to care about within, I don't know, how much screen time she had, 5 minutes? I mean, such a short amount of time. Her performance and the writers and directors got us to care about this character, Laura, in such a short time. Seemed like such a sweet, likable person who just wants to go on this date. She's quirky, and then goes into the alley, which is a stupid decision, but also given the circumstances, you kind of understand that. Gets killed by Ghostface, and then Ghostface reveals himself to be Tony Revolori. If the scene had ended just right there, it would have been a solid opening scene, definitely bottom half in the franchise. But once he reveals himself, you're like, wait a minute, what the hell? Where is this going? You see him talk to Tara on the street, which is the only time in the franchise we see one of the main characters in the opening scene. I thought that was pretty interesting. Then he goes into his apartment, gets a call from the real Ghostface, which I thought was so well done, and leads him to seeing his friend in the fridge. That was so damn good. And then gets killed by the real Ghostface, who now takes over as the actual Ghostface for this movie and is like, who gives a fuck about movies? I thought that was so well done. A great subversion on the traditional Scream opening scene to where he reveals himself like, wait, where the hell is this going? And then everything that transpires from then on out until he gets killed by the actual Ghostface of the movie. So well done, and one of the best parts of Scream 6, which is a movie that does a lot of things right. Coming in at number 1, though, is going to be, of course, the original. This is, to me, still the best scene in the entire franchise, one of the best scenes in horror history, maybe one of the best scenes in film history. That's how good this scene is. It builds tension so damn well to where Drew Barrymore's Casey gets a call, and just like the one with Tara, starts out very casual, even though you do have the traditional Ghostface voice right away. It does just seem like someone who at first maybe called the wrong number and then actually wants to ask her out. It seems really nice at first, and I just love how it just gets more and more dire and the tension keeps ramping up, and Drew Barrymore's performance is perfect. I mean, talking about getting to care about someone in such short amount of time, you feel really bad when she gets killed. And the way that she portrays the building fear in her as the situation gets more serious and threatening is so damn good. I mean, the game on the phone with Ghostface asking her questions after they had casually talked about horror movies earlier, killing her boyfriend with his guts spilling out, and then her eventual death that she was almost saved because her parents were just getting home at the time. She's like, oh man, it's so close. And she could have yelled out to them, but couldn't do it. And then they hear her on the phone, just so damn tragic. And then they see her hanging. Phenomenal opening scene, and it will never be beat. I love this franchise. There is so much good stuff in here. It is my favorite horror franchise, but I don't think it'll ever reach the heights of this opening scene ever again because they set the bar so damn high with everything they did in this scene. So there you have it, guys. There is my ranking of all 6 of these Scream opening scenes. Again, they're all good. I don't dislike any of them. I just think some are more memorable than others. So how would you rank the 6 opening scenes? Drop a comment below. Let's start a conversation. I am very surprised at how different everyone's rankings of these opening scenes have been from what I've seen in other people's videos and comments and stuff, because everyone seems to agree that the first one is the best. But I watched Sean Chandler's video today, and he is someone that I tend to agree with him a lot on a lot of things. Our rankings are completely different. Aside from the first one being number one, I watch his, I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. That is not where I'm going to have that opening scene at all. So I think it's the discourse around these scenes is really interesting to see how differently people rank them. So I would love to see your ranking below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you enjoy my content in general, subscribe, hit the notification bell, get notified when I post a video. Stay tuned. I got at least one more Scream video coming, probably a lot more than that, let's be honest. And then just a lot more content in general. So stay tuned. I will see you soon.